Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Aisha Naveed and I'm a level 1 student at Rehan School Online Academy, and today we will talk on disturbed mental health with Annie.
Hi,
Hey, today we'll talk about mental health. Are you ready?
absolutely, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Disturbed mental health can show up in so many ways: anxiety, depression, mood swings, or just feeling off. What part of it do you explore? Maybe coping strategies or how it affects daily life, or something else. I'm all ears.
Okay, so the first question I'm gonna ask to you is about mental health. What does mental health mean to you?
Great question. All right, buckle up for a mental health marathon. So, mental health is this vast, intricate part of our overall well being that influences how we think, feel, and behave every single day. It's not just about avoiding mental illness, it's about thriving emotionally and psychologically. Imagine it as the software running in the background of your brain, quietly shaping your moods, decisions, relationships, and even your physical health. When mental health is strong, it feels like you have this inner resilience, a kind of armor that helps you bounce back from life's curveballs, like stress, loss, or setbacks. You can manage your emotions, stay connected with others, and find purpose and joy in your daily activities. But when mental health is disturbed, that software starts glitching. You might feel overwhelmed by anxiety, trapped in sadness, or disconnected from yourself and those around you. It's like your mind is trying to send you signals that something needs attention. All right, buckle up for a long, thoughtful ride. Mental health is this incredibly complex and vital part of who we are. It's not just about the absence of mental illness, it's about how we think, feel, and behave in our daily lives. It shapes how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Imagine it like the software running in the background of your brain, influencing everything from your mood to your motivation. Good mental health means having a balance. It doesn't mean being happy all the time or never feeling down. Life throws curveballs. Loss, stress, uncertainty, and mental health is about how resilient we are in facing those challenges. It's about being able to experience a range of emotions, from joy to sadness, without getting completely overwhelmed. It's also about self-awareness, knowing when you need support and feeling safe to seek it. Mental health is deeply connected to our environment and relationships. Supportive friends, family, and community can act like a safety net. On the side, isolation, discrimination, or trauma can take a toll. Culture plays a huge role too. How we talk about mental health, what's considered normal, and the resources available all shape our experience. Then there's the stigma, which is a big barrier. Many people avoid talking about mental health because of shame or fear of judgment. This silence can worsen problems, making people feel alone. That's why open conversations like the one we're having now are so powerful. They break down walls and build understanding. Taking care of mental health involves many tools: medication, mindfulness, exercise, creative outlets, and sometimes resting. It's a personal journey, and what works for one person might not for another. Importantly, mental health is not fixed. It fluctuates throughout life. We can all learn to nurture it, just like we do with physical health. So, in essence, mental health is the invisible thread weaving through every part of our lives. It's the foundation for living fully, connecting deeply, and coping with whatever comes our way. It's okay to have ups and downs, and it's brave to ask for help when needed. That's mental health in all its messy, beautiful complexity. Phew, that was a long one. What do you think? Did it cover what you wanted? What's fascinating is how mental health is shaped by so many factors: biological elements like genetics and brain chemistry, psychological aspects such as coping skills and personality, and social influences including relationships, community, and culture. Even the environment plays a role. Things like trauma, poverty, or discrimination can weigh heavily on mental health. The tricky part is that mental health isn't static. It's fluid and can change day to day. Sometimes just small practices like mindfulness, exercise, or talking to a friend can help improve it. Other times, professional support like therapy or medication might be necessary, and that's totally okay. The thing I find really important is how stigma still surrounds mental health. People might feel ashamed or afraid to speak up, which can make things worse. But opening up, seeking help, and creating supportive communities can be game changers. In a nutshell, mental health is the invisible thread weaving through every part of our lives. Taking care of it means honoring our feelings, nurturing our minds, and recognizing when we need support. It's a journey, not a destination, and being kind to ourselves along the way is key. Phew, that was a long ride. What part of that resonated most with you? Or did it spark any new thoughts?
Yeah, that
Ooh,
was a
pacta pacta
long
sounds
the
mysterious. Are you
the
talking about a pact or agreement related to mental health? Or maybe
yeah,
it's a phrase.
yeah, that was so long. Thank you so much for explaining. So yeah, that was amazing. So how do you recognize when your mental health is disturbed?
Alright, here we go. Mental health detective mode activated. Recognizing when your mental health is disturbed can be like noticing subtle changes in the weather before a big storm hits. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it sneaks up on you. First off, there are emotional signs. You might feel persistently sad, anxious, or irritable without a clear reason. Small things that used to bring joy might feel dull or exhausting. You could find yourself overwhelmed by feelings of hopelessness or guilt. These emotions might stick around longer than usual or come on stronger than you expect. Then there's the thinking part. Your mind might race with worries or negative thoughts. Concentration and decision making can become tough, like your brain's fogged up. You might replay past mistakes or fears over and over, which can trap you in a cycle of stress. Behavior changes are another clue. You might withdraw from hobbies or have trouble sleeping or eating. Sometimes unhealthy coping mechanisms like substance use or physical symptoms like headaches, stomach aches can also pop up, showing how closely bodies are linked. It's important to notice when these signs start in relationships or self-care. That's a big red flag that your mental health needs attention. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes people ignore or minimize these signs because of stigma, fear, or no awareness is key. Checking in with yourself regularly. How are you feeling? What's your energy like? Are you coping or just surviving? Can help catch disturbances early. Also, trusted friends or family might notice changes you don't and can offer support or perspective. Recognizing disturbed mental health isn't about labeling yourself or others. It's about tuning in and responding with kindness and care. Sometimes that means taking a break, talking to someone, or seeking professional help. It's like maintaining a garden. You notice when the leaves wilt and take steps to help it thrive again. So, in the long run, recognizing disturbed mental health is about being mindful of your inner world and outer behaviors, understanding that it's okay to struggle, and knowing that help is available. It's a journey of self compassion and connection. How's that for a long explanation? What parts hit home for you? Oh, you want the ultra long version like a mental health novel? Challenge accepted. Let me dive deeper. Recognizing disturbed mental health is like being your own detective, therapist, and best friend all rolled into one. It starts with tuning into your emotional landscape, which can be tricky because feelings are often subtle or tangled. You might notice a persistent cloud of sadness that doesn't lift, or an undercurrent of anxiety that makes your heart race even when nothing obvious is wrong. Sometimes emotions flip quickly, like going from calm to angry in seconds, or you might feel numb, like your feelings are muted or distant. Then there's the cognitive side, your thoughts. When mental health is disturbed, your mind might become a whirlwind of worries, self-criticism, or confusion. You might find it hard to concentrate, forget things easily, or struggle to make decisions that once felt simple. Negative thought patterns can take hold, like a broken record playing messages of "I'm not good enough" or "things will never get better." This mental chatter can be exhausting and hard to escape. Behavioral changes are often the most visible signs. You might start avoiding social situations or hobbies you once loved, feeling too drained or unmotivated to engage. Sleep patterns can shift dramatically, either sleeping too much or struggling with insomnia. Appetite might change, leading to weight gain or loss. Sometimes people turn to substances like alcohol or drugs to numb the pain, which can create a vicious cycle. Physical symptoms can also be clues. Mental health and physical health are deeply intertwined, so headaches, stomach aches, muscle tension, or unexplained aches might crop up. You might feel fatigued even after a full night's sleep or notice changes in your energy levels. Importantly, these signs become concerning when they interfere with your daily functioning, work, school, relationships, or self-care. You might find it hard to get out of bed, focus on tasks, or maintain connections. Sometimes disturbed mental health can lead to thoughts of self-harm or suicide, which are urgent signals to seek help immediately. Recognizing these signs requires self-awareness and honesty. It helps to check in with yourself regularly, asking questions like, how am I feeling today? What's different from usual? Am I coping or just surviving? Mindfulness practices can support this by helping you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Another key aspect is the role of others. Sometimes we're too close to our own experience to see changes clearly. Trusted friends, family, or colleagues might notice shifts in mood or behavior and can gently encourage you to seek support. Opening up about what you're going through can be scary, but it's a crucial step toward healing. Finally, recognizing disturbed mental health is not about labeling or stigmatizing yourself. It's about understanding that mental health fluctuates and that everyone can face challenges. It's an invitation to care for yourself with kindness, seek resources, and build resilience. Just like physical health, mental health requires attention, maintenance, and sometimes professional care. So in this long explanation, recognizing disturbed mental health is a multi-layered process involving emotional awareness, cognitive insight, behavioral observation, and social support. It's about being gentle with yourself, reaching out when needed, and remembering that you're not alone on this journey. Youth, that's the long version. How's your mind holding up after that? Ready to share your own thoughts now?
Amazing. Thank you so much for explaining. So, what are the most common signs of a poor mental health?
Got it, here comes the Luung version of calming signs of poor mental health. Brace yourself. So poor mental health often whispers before it shouts. It starts with emotional signals that may feel like unwelcome guests overstaying their visit. You might notice a persistent sadness that colors your days gray or a gnawing anxiety that tightens your chest like a clenched fist. Sometimes emotions swing wildly, like a roller coaster you didn't sign up for, leaving you exhausted and disoriented. Beyond feelings, your thoughts might start playing tricks on you. Concentration becomes a challenge, like trying to focus through fog. Decisions that once felt simple suddenly seem like impossible puzzles. Negative self-talk can become a soundtrack, repeating messages that chip away at your confidence and hope. Behavior changes often tip us off more than we realize. You might find yourself retreating from social events, even when you crave connection. Hobbies that once sparked joy might feel like chores. Sleep patterns can turn upside down. Either you're tossing and turning all night or sleeping so much you lose track of time. Appetite might swing, leading to weight changes, or you might find yourself eating for comfort or not at all. Physical symptoms are sneaky messengers too. Headaches, stomach aches, muscle tension, or unexplained pain can all be signs that your mind is struggling. Fatigue that doesn't improve with rest is another red flag, as is a general sense of restlessness or agitation. One of the most critical signs is when these emotional, cognitive, and physical changes start interfering with your daily life. Work, school, relationships, and self-care can all take a hit. You might find it hard to get out of bed, focus on tasks, or maintain personal hygiene. Sometimes poor mental health leads to thoughts of self-harm or suicide, which are urgent signals that immediate support is needed. Substance use is another calming, though often hidden sign. People might turn to alcohol, drugs, or other behaviors to numb emotional pain, which can create a dangerous cycle that worsens mental health. It's important to remember that everyone experiences these signs differently. Cultural background, personality, and life circumstances shape how mental health challenges show up. Some people might express distress through anger or irritability, while others withdraw quietly. Awareness is the first step toward healing. Regularly checking in with yourself, Through mindfulness, journaling, or conversations with trusted people can help you notice these signs early. And if you spot them, reaching out for support is a brave and vital move. So, in the grand, long explanation, calming signs of poor mental health span emotional shifts, cognitive struggles, behavioral changes, physical symptoms, and impact on daily functioning. They're like signals from your inner world asking for care, attention, and connection. Phew, that was quite the mental health marathon. How are you feeling after that? Want to chat about any of these signs or share your own experiences? Oh, you want the ultra long, extra detailed version. Challenge accepted. Let me put on my mental health tour guide hat and take you on a deep dive. Imagine poor mental health as a complex symphony where different instruments, emotions, thoughts, behaviors, and body sensations start playing out of tune or rhythm. It's not just one thing, it's a whole orchestra of signs that, when noticed together, tell a story. Emotionally, you might feel like you're carrying a heavy invisible backpack filled with sadness, fear, or irritability. This isn't just a bad day, it's a persistent mood that colors your world. Sometimes the sadness feels like a slow drip, other times it's a tidal wave that crashes unexpectedly. Anxiety might show up as a constant buzzing in your mind, making it hard to relax or focus. Or you might swing between feeling numb and feeling overwhelmed, like your emotional volume knob is stuck in weird settings. Cognitively, your mind might feel like a computer with too many tabs open. Concentration becomes a challenge, memory feels fuzzy, and decisions that once were easy now feel like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Negative thoughts can become a relentless inner critic, whispering doubts and fears that chip away at your self-esteem and hope. Behaviorally, you might notice changes that surprise even you. Maybe you start skipping social events or cancel plans because the energy just isn't there. Hobbies that used to light you up now feel like chores or pointless tasks. Sleep can become erratic. Either you're trapped in insomnia's grip or sleeping so much that days blur together. Appetite might swing wildly, leading to noticeable weight changes. Sometimes people turn to substances like alcohol or drugs to escape these feelings, which unfortunately often deepens the struggle. Physically, your body often bears the brunt of mental health struggles. Headaches, stomach issues, muscle tension, and unexplained aches can all be signs. You might feel constantly tired even after a full night's rest or notice restlessness that makes sitting still impossible. Importantly, these signs become red flags when they start interfering with your ability to function daily. Work, school, relationships, and self-care can all suffer. You might find it hard to get out of bed, maintain personal hygiene, or keep up with responsibilities. In
Yeah, continue responsibilities.
responsibilities, the sneaky little things that keep piling up when your mental health is struggling. When your mind feels foggy or heavy, even the simplest tasks can feel like climbing a mountain. Like getting out of bed in the morning. Suddenly an Olympic event. Showering, brushing your teeth, cooking meals, things that used to be automatic now require superhero level effort. Work or school deadlines. They loom like monsters under the bed, making focus and motivation vanish. You might find yourself procrastinating or avoiding tasks because they feel overwhelming. Or maybe you start missing appointments, forgetting commitments, or not returning calls. Relationships can suffer too. When you're drained, connecting with others might feel impossible, leading to isolation. This creates a cycle where responsibilities pile up, causing guilt or stress, which then worsens mental health. It's like a loop that's hard to break. That's why breaking tasks into tiny, manageable steps and celebrating small wins can help. Even telling yourself, today I'm just going to put on clean socks is progress. What responsibilities feel hardest for you when you're down? Maybe we can brainstorm some fun, doable ways to tackle them together.
Wonderful, wonderful. I like your answers and explanations. So the next question is that what life events can disturb a person's mental health?
Oh, you're diving into the big is that what life is? Question, loved. Life is this wild, unpredictable roller coaster that mixes beauty and chaos, joy and struggle, order and disorder. Humans, with all our complexity, definitely have a knack for stirring the pot, sometimes in ways that shake our science, our minds, and our very sense of stability. Think about it. Our brains are wired to adapt.
I think the net is so slow. Let's redo this. Mm, yeah. Hey, we were talking on disturbed mental health. I was asking the question that what life events can disturb a person's mental health.
Hayake, I get it. You want a long, deep dive into what kinds of things can disturb a person's mental health. Let's unpack this gently, like peeling back layers, because mental health is such a complex, delicate thing. So, first off, mental health can be disturbed by a bunch of different factors, and they often mix and mingle. It's like a big stew, not just one ingredient messing things up, but a combination. Only external stressors. These are things outside the person that cause stress. Hayake, I got you long explanation mode activated. So, when it comes to what kinds of things are black humans, I'm guessing you mean people or behaviors that might negatively impact mental health. It's a complex mix, right? People can affect mental health in so many ways, both directly and indirectly. First off, mental health can be disturbed by toxic relationships, like those with people who are overly critical, dismissive, or manipulative. Imagine someone constantly putting you down or invalidating your feelings. That can chip away at your confidence and create anxiety or depression over time. It's like emotional erosion. Then there's social isolation or exclusion. If someone is systematically left out or bullied, that can cause loneliness and low self-esteem. Humans are social creatures. When we feel rejected, our brains react like we're in physical pain. Crazy, right? Also, people who trigger trauma or remind us of past painful experiences can stir up mental distress. For example, someone who's abusive or neglectful might bring up old wounds, making it hard to heal or feel safe. There's also the impact of societal factors like systemic racism, discrimination, or prejudice that certain groups face. These external pressures can weigh heavily on mental health, causing chronic stress, hypervigilance, or feelings of invisibility. On the flip side, though, it's important to remember that not all interactions with people are bad. Supportive, empathetic friends or communities can be a huge buffer against mental health struggles. So, while some individuals or behaviors can disturb mental health, others can heal and uplift. And hey, sometimes the disturbance isn't even about the person themselves but the environment they create, like chaos, unpredictability, or lack of boundaries. That can make it hard to feel grounded. Does that hit what you were curious about? I can totally dive deeper into any part or share some ways to protect your mental space from those disturbances. Also, how have you been feeling about this stuff lately? I'm all ears. Like job pressure, financial worries, relationship problems, or even global events like pandemics or climate change anxiety. Imagine carrying a backpack full of rocks. You don't notice one rock, but as they pile up, it gets heavy. Toy trauma and adverse experiences. Past traumas like abuse, neglect, loss of a loved one, or accidents can leave deep scars. These can sometimes cause anxiety, depression, or PTSD. Trauma rewires how we respond to the world, sometimes making us hyper alert or withdrawn. 3. Social isolation and loneliness. Humans are social creatures, right? When we feel cut off or lonely, it can trigger feelings of sadness, anxiety, or even depression. It's like our brain craves connection, and without it, things get shaky. Far biological and genetic factors. Sometimes, mental health disturbances come from the brain's chemistry or genetics. Maybe a person's brain doesn't produce enough serotonin, or there's a family history of mental illness. These aren't anyone's fault, they're just part of the complex biology. 5. Substance use and abuse. Alcohol, drugs, or even some medications can impact mental health. They might be used to cope but often make things worse in the long run. 6. Environmental factors. Living in unsafe neighborhoods, experiencing discrimination, or can cause chronic stress and mental health challenges. 7. Internal thought patterns. Sometimes our own thoughts, like constant self-criticism, perfectionism, or negative beliefs, can disturb our peace. It's like having a loud, annoying inner critic that never takes a break. Now, about your phrasing, black humans disturbing mental health, I want to gently check in. If you meant something specific or were referring to experiences related to race, discrimination, or societal pressures faced by black people, that's a really important and sensitive topic. Racism, microaggressions, and systemic injustice can absolutely harm mental health. The constant stress of facing discrimination or prejudice is a heavy burden many carry, and it can lead to anxiety, depression, and trauma. Is that what you were aiming to explore? Because if so, I'm here to listen and talk about it as much as you want. It's a huge topic and super relevant. Also, I'm curious, what made you think about this connection? I find it so important to understand how society and identity shape mental health. And hey, before I go on too long, how are you feeling about all this? Sometimes talking about heavy stuff can be a lot. Maybe we can also throw in some silly dance music or yoga breathing to lighten the mood. I'm all about balance.
Thank you so much for helping me. That was great. Bye for now. See you in the next session.
Definitely looking forward to our next chat.
Everyone, this was today's session. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. Thank you so much, Allah Hafiz.